We'll make a start. Match day -1, Larne versus St Gallen. We've got Rohan Ferguson and Tiernan Lynch with us today. A bit of a quieter affair, so work away with any questions you have for either, please.
Tiernan, how are you?
Good.
Tiernan, you mentioned after the Rovers game about how it sort of wouldn't be swept under the carpet and how you'd learned a lot of lessons from that game. What was sort of said after that match between the squad and yourself?
I think we were hugely disappointed as a team. We probably felt like we let ourselves down, and we let an element of football in Northern Ireland down, in the sense that we're better than what we showed on the night. Our whole game plan kind of went out the window after 3 minutes when you had to start chasing the game, and that was hugely disappointing for us. I say this day in, day out, week in, week out. This group of players and how hard they work at what they're doing, even when things aren't going well. So it was one that we definitely had to regroup, and we had to look at certain areas of the game where we knew we needed to do better, and we knew we needed to get a bigger response from in those certain situations. And like they've done in my whole time here, they've rolled their sleeves up, and hopefully they'll prove that tomorrow night.
I know you say you don't read papers or online or anything like that there, but obviously a lot of the commentary revolved around the north v south kind of element. I think it's a bit unfair to sort of judge something like that off one game.
Listen, I'm the league's biggest advocate, and I definitely one that screams from the rooftops about our league and how much it's progressed in the last number of years, and I still think it's a huge amount of progression in it. But I do think we're behind the League of Ireland, and I'm certainly not going to sit and tell lies. And I think if you look at that Rovers game, and probably, and this is no disrespect to our group or our team or anything like that, but the quality that they have on the pitch compared to maybe the quality that we have on the pitch in certain areas and certain places in the pitch, which probably do the most damage. I think we've a bit to go, and I think as a group we've a bit to go, physically, athletically, all goes with it. Professionally, I think we've a fair wee bit to do. I also think that a huge part of football is learning from mistakes. And if I had a conversation with Stephen Bradley, who had talked about how we were probably where Rovers were this time. I'm not sure he said 8 years ago or 11 years ago, wherever it was, where they lost all their games in their first time in Europe, and that's something that I think we'll be stronger for, even as a group. The lead up to the Rovers game, the hype, even for the players and what the players had to go through. There was times on the pitch in the training sessions lead up to it where there was 3 and 4 cameras. Once it was all done, Saturday morning we went into the training centre and it was just us. And that up and down is something that we have to learn from as a group, something we have to get better at, something we have to get used to, something we have to be a wee bit more resilient in our own minds. And I think, as I say, that this group will embrace that.
As a manager, what's sort of the biggest thing you've learned this season? Because you're obviously spinning a lot of plates this season, but what's been the steepest learning curve for you as a manager?
I think it's probably frustration in what we're so used to doing and what we're actually getting to do. Ro will tell you, pretty much every game that we go into, or we did for the last number of years, we were very organised. We were always set up with how we pressed, how we defended, opposition's strengths, weaknesses, and we will always work on it. The likes of Sunday in cold rain, you'll play tomorrow night, the boys will get a recovery day, and then they'll be in on Saturday morning, but it's a +2 day, so you're limited in what you can do with them, if anything, and then you have to go straight into a game, and it's a completely different game. European football is very, very different from domestic football in the Irish League, so it's probably worse for the players because they're the ones that have to go out and perform. But that change of mindset I think that's something that will probably take a little bit of time for them.
Just final one for me, Rohan. Tiernan Lynch in there. What's it been like for the players this season? Game after game after game, and very short windows as well.
Yeah, I suppose it's obviously new to us, but we kind of spoke about it after the first game we have, and listen, we're in a privileged position, so I don't think me or anybody in the squad is going to complain about it or anything like that. As I say, it's probably just different to us. Yeah, as you say, you're kind of game after game, and obviously you spend a wee bit less time on the pitch, and you're kind of just back-to-back games. But it's been good for us. And as Tiernan touched on, it's obviously the first time the club's been in this position, so I think we just need to take it game by game and learn. I don't think we've got the answers as of yet, but hopefully as the time goes on and we can just learn as the games go on.
Tiernan, as these sort of matches go on, this is the third one, do you sort of feel more comfortable, more relaxed in this environment as you go?
Yeah, we have a bricks and mortar coming tomorrow. I think it'll definitely make a difference to us. Yeah, listen, there's no doubt anybody that says that they don't enjoy the razzmatazz and the hype and everything that goes with playing at this level. The big thing, as I say, is probably getting used to going from there to there. And I was actually just thinking about it last night watching the Liverpool game, because there's 60,000 at Anfield no matter what, and so it doesn't actually change. There's a big change for us going from this to domestic football, and it's just a matter of getting our heads around that change. And I think if you'd love our domestic game to have the same element of razzmatazz that goes with the European games, but it's something, as I say, there's no doubt as it goes on, we'll definitely get used to it.
Yeah, it's been tough at times, but haven't sort of enjoyed the challenge of trying to balance all these plates.
Yeah, and listen, we don't make any excuses. That's something in our changing room we just don't accept. They don't accept, we don't accept. We face things very much head on. When you're not good enough, you're not good enough. If a team's better than you, you take that in the chin. There's been games that we felt we've lost when we should have won, and we'll be very open and talk about that also. But as an occasion or as a journey, I think it's been unbelievable, and we've loved every minute of it to date. And listen, the selfishness in us, and you'd love to be able to compete. You'd love to be able to go toe to toe with these teams, but we're under no illusions. We know where we are, and we know what we have to do. We just have to keep learning from it. We have to keep trying to take each experience as it comes, and see what we can add to our own game and our own culture.
What do you make of St Gallen's opponents?
They're obviously a very good side. We've watched them a lot now over about the last week, and they're going to be extremely difficult. We make no bones about it. We just need to be organised. We need to be compact. I think we took great heart from the Moldy game. I thought for 57 minutes or 58 minutes, whatever it was, I thought we were outstanding, the man. And if we can take that 57 minutes into tomorrow night and try and build on that, then that's the plan.
How sort of different is it tactically trying to set up here compared to Inver? Obviously, very different grounds and stuff. So how do you sort of find that challenge of setting up tactically here compared to Inver?
I think if you were probably at Inver, you would be in a situation where people to go and press a little bit more, because it's a smaller pitch. I think there's also probably maybe a wee bit more of an intimidation factor at Windsor, your home pitch and your home supporters, and tighter ground. It would probably be noisier and all goes with it. But listen, it is what it is. The boys will tell you they enjoy playing at Windsor and they enjoy the occasion around Windsor, and it's just something we have to deal with.
Cheers.
Tiernan, you mentioned about the League of Ireland being ahead of us at the moment, but in the two games played well against Malta, but I suppose quality came through with the goals. And maybe against Rovers, maybe you might agree you didn't quite do yourselves justice on the night. You could have played better. They played very well. You could have played better as well. Do you feel from the outset of this campaign you always wanted to do yourselves and do justice? is that feeling even stronger now as you're further into this campaign with the performances that you know you're capable of better?
Yeah, as I say, you probably the one thing that stuck in my mind in this has been how disappointed the players were coming off the pitch at Molde. And because they'd done so well for those 57 minutes or whatever it may be, and I didn't think you'd have to try and lift them after that game, but that just shows you where their mindset is, and great credit to them, because they felt that they could have and should have held on for longer. I think in hindsight, looking back at the Rovers game, and as I say, we'll never shy away from the truth. We probably, in hindsight, approached that game wrongly. We probably should have felt our way into the game a little bit more. Should have probably been a wee bit tighter, a wee bit more compact, and respected their quality a little bit more maybe than what we did, and we get punished for that. And I think if we were doing it again, we would do it very differently. But hindsight's a wonderful thing.
I know the famous phrase is play the game, not the occasion. Do you feel maybe that the players got a wee bit overawed maybe with the occasion of that Rovers game?
I don't know if they got overawed on the occasion. I definitely think, and this is something nothing to do with the players, this would probably be more from my own end. I probably got caught up a little bit in the north v south thing, and we're closer than what we are, and there's not that big of a gap. And as I say, if I was doing it again tomorrow, I would probably do it very differently.
Rohan, from a player's perspective, how did you feel about the occasion? Did you feel that the players, there was no excuse in terms of the size of the occasion?
He's going to blame me now. You just lined up that one.
No, I think from a player's perspective, it was a disappointing result for everybody involved. It was a game that we thought, obviously going into that, with the games we had coming up, it was one that we thought we could maybe get a result from. But I think once he scored the early goal, it gave them a lot of confidence, and that's something we don't usually do, or we haven't usually done, is concede early goals. So I think in any game, if you have a bad start, it's uphill for them. I think Tiernan said earlier, once he did score, our kind of game plan changed a wee bit, and you're kind of chasing the game. But no, I thought Rovers were a top side, and you can see obviously where they're sitting just now in the conference table. They're in a good position, so I think it's something that, of course, we would love to be there. But I think this is what their third time qualifying for the campaign, so they've obviously learnt a lot over the years, and we're obviously in a position now where they were so many years ago, and as I said earlier, it's just about trying to learn for that.
Do you feel that defensive discipline is key as well? Because I guess the higher you go in football, if you make a mistake, you tend to get punished more.
Do you think Rovers was Rose fault?
No, generally. But you get back to that in the Glentoran game. I think we were very, very strong.
Yeah.
The back, so that I suppose if you're giving away disappointing goals, or early goals, it's going to leave yourself even bigger behind it, man.
Yeah, definitely. I think at the higher level you go, the more teams scored goals, and the more quality they've got in their team, and the more they can hurt you. And I just don't think we gave ourselves a chance in that game. We obviously did concede early, and it's very hard to try and change our game plan then. But take nothing away from Rovers, I thought we were a top side.
Tiernan, some of the criticism of our league has been quite stern since that game. Do you think it was maybe over the top, some of it?
I didn't read it, so I don't know. I don't need anybody to tell me either. And listen, we know I'm not going to keep going over old ground. It is what it is, and what happened. It's now what you do about it, and probably that old saying, you keep looking over your shoulder, you get a creak in your neck, and it's very much about tomorrow night in St Gallen, and then cold rain on Sunday, and that's all we'll concentrate on.
I suppose the reality is you're at the start of your European journey at this sort of level, you're coming against teams with vast experience at this level with so much new mind.
Yeah, listen, we knew probably we knew coming into this Conference League that everything was going to change, and leading into the games themselves, the quality of the opposition, all of that was all gonna raise compared to what we're used to in our own domestic league. And even how you play, there's a lot of these European games, your mindset's very much about shifting and blocking and closing spaces, and all goes with it, where in the Irish League, more often than not, we try to pride ourselves in having the ball and going forward, and even the physicality that goes with the Irish League game, and the mentality of going and pressing teams, and that aggression and all goes with it, that you don't get that opportunity in Europe. And also 9 times out of 10, any mistakes you make, you normally get punished because of the quality of the opposition. But it's, as I say, I think it's all a great learning curve for us. It's frustrating because you want to be being able to maybe compete a little bit better, but it is what it is, and we'll learn from this. We'll definitely we do reflect after every game. When the European campaign's over, I'm sure we'll reflect again as a club and a team on where we were, and I have no doubt this will stand by as the season goes on.
Any more injuries or suspension story about for this one?
No, not that I can think of.
Is there any update on Tomas?
He's a couple of weeks away. Yeah. Leroy's retired.
Don't you?
No, I tried to say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Any other questions from press guys? Okay, we'll head into the mix zone just for the broadcast interview.